Week 2 of the Champions Cup is here, the best club rugby tournament on earth. Week 1 was absolutely fantastic. It was incredible. It was exciting. There were some incredible games, some massive performances, some big wins, some narrow wins, some big wins away from home, some dominant performances at home. And I think week 2 is going to be just as exciting, if not more. Starting off the week on Friday, you have Leicester versus Leinster, the British team versus the Irish team, playing in Leicester. This could be a game that Leicester would want to capitalise on. I know Leinster aren't the best team away from home, but they do take this tournament very seriously, so they'll probably be sending their big guns in for this one, because this is not a game they want to lose, and this is a game Leicester really want to take and try win to get back in this competition. So I see this one being a very close game in Leicester. We'll see if the conditions play into Leicester's favour or Leinster. I think if it's more of a rainy, wet game, it could really suit a Leicester team. But if it's a dry game, I think Leinster might just edge it because they are a massive, massive team and they are a really good running team. So I think if I had to give a prediction, I'd probably go with Leinster by a few points on Friday just because they are such a quality team and one of the best teams in the world for club rugby. Now on Saturday, Stormers versus La Rochelle in the Eastern Cape, not in the Western Cape this time. They're playing in Quebec. So this is going to be a huge game. I really think the Stormers will win this one. The Stormers have kind of had an edge over La Rochelle over the last few seasons at home. Obviously not away. La Rochelle, when they play at home, are one of the best club teams in the world, and I think some international teams would struggle against them. But I think the Stormers, I think they're going to have their Springboks back, Sasha, Feinberg Ngomezulu, Kobus Reinach, and Damien Willemse, along the likes of Ntutoko Mchunu, Ivan Ruiz, and Paul de Villiers, some big name players. Hopefully La Rochelle sends their strongest team down to the Eastern Cape, but either way, I think the Stormers take this one by 3 to 5 points. It's going to be a very close game, and the Stormers have to be at their best, but the Stormers are really on form right now, and I don't think La Rochelle is going to have an easy game like they did last week. So yeah, that's my prediction for that one. Clermont versus Sale in France. I'm going to have to go with Clermont for this one. I think Sale's a good team. They could win it. It could be a very close game either way, but I think Clermont at home is a very difficult team to beat. I think these French teams, if you play them at home, it's almost like in their culture, they have to win. They absolutely have to win at home. Otherwise, their fans will probably turn against them. So it's going to be a very, very, very hectic atmosphere there for Sale. So I just think Clermont might get it by 3 to 7 points, one score in it, I think. But either way, Sale has a chance to win, and if they do, this will be a massive way to get back in the running for the knockouts after their narrow loss to Glasgow last week. Now, Sharks versus Saracens. This is one of the biggest games of the weekend. They've played a preseason game earlier in the year where Saracens won, but it wasn't a full-strength Sharks team. Neither was it a full-strength Saracens team either. But I think this game in Durban, all the Springboks should be back. It's going to be an interesting one. I think Saracens might win this one. The reason why is I think that the Sharks are lacking a bit of cohesion right now with the Springboks and their non-Springbok players. They haven't really played together. Saracens have been together for the last few weeks, and I think they're a team on form. Had a big win against Clermont last week, and I just think the Sharks will struggle to get into this one if Saracens start quick. So I'm going to say Saracens by 2 scores, but hopefully the Sharks can pull in a massive win at home in front of hopefully a sold-out crowd. It would be good to see some of the Springbok players back, like Ethan Hooker, Andreas Days, and Sia Khaleesi. So it'd be good to see those guys play. And if the Springbok players do pitch up on the day and play well, then I think the Sharks would win. But I think it's going to be a slow start for the Sharks. So I think Saracens might win it by 1 or 2 scores. I just think that it's just a gut feel. So then next game, Bordeaux versus Scarlets in Bordeaux. I think this one could get ugly. Bordeaux is currently probably the best or the second best club team in the world, probably behind Toulouse. So I think Scarlets, the team from Wales, are going to get probably 30 to 40 put on them. This Bordeaux team is world class. Biel Barry, Mathieu Jalibert, Damien Penaud, some incredible players, and I think Bordeaux should win this game by 25 to 30 points. Alright, then we have Munster versus Gloucester. This is an interesting one. Munster's kind of had a lack of form lately. Don't know what's going on there. And Gloucester had a really good win last week. So I think this game could go either way, but I think Munster's going to really try get a big win this week. So I think I'm going to go with Munster by a score. Only by a score, because I think Gloucester are really finding their form right now. They have a good squad. Thomas Williams is an incredible player at scrum off there. So I think he's really going to drive these guys forward. And I don't know, Munster seems to be struggling, but I think Munster at home is a very difficult team to beat. So I'm going to go Munster by a score. Then Glasgow versus Toulouse in Glasgow, one of the best games of the weekend. I think Toulouse will win. I think Toulouse is currently the best club team in the world if I had to put my money on it, and I think they will get the win, but I think this is going to probably be the best game of the weekend. Maybe a top three game of the weekend. It's going to be incredible. Glasgow is one of those teams, these Scottish teams, you just struggle to beat them at home. It's like almost like the French teams. Their home games, they just really take pride in winning at home, and their crowd was always there and full, and the atmosphere is electric. So I think, as much as I think Glasgow have a good chance this game, I think Toulouse is going to win it by a try or two. So it's going to be a close game, but I think the likes of Dupont, Thomas Ramos, Ange Capuazzo, Marchand in the forwards as well, I think it's going to be Toulouse by a try or two, but it's going to be a cracker game. A few games left. Harlequins versus Bayonne in England. I think Harlequins are going to win this game. Bayonne losing to an understrength Stormers team last week. Stormers are on form, but Bayonne just needed to get that win last week, and I think Harlequins are going to win by a try or two this week. I think Harlequins are going to bounce back after they lost to Leinster. They hung in there, but I think Harlequins are going to win this week. Cust versus Edinburgh. I think that Edinburgh could win this game. I know it's difficult to go and play Cust in France and win, but I think Edinburgh might just win this game by 3 to 7 points. If they do win, it's going to be a close game, and if they lose, I think they're going to lose by quite a bit. It's either or. I mean, this is going to be a close game, one of the better games as well this weekend, and I'll definitely be keeping a close eye. Now, probably the best or second best game this week. If the Bulls send their full strength team, then this could be an absolutely epic match. I mean, Northampton, a team on form right now, one of the best club teams in England, with some incredible young players like Finn Smith, Henry Pollock, JJ van der Mesch, the South African lock, he's a giant, versus the Bulls, Vilku Low, Elrich Low, Ruan Norkia, Ambrose Papir, Andre Pollard. If they send all their players, this could probably be one of the best games of the weekend. I am putting my money on Northampton because they are a team on form, and they are a really difficult team to beat at home. And I know Bulls as well, they struggle to travel as a team. I mean, in the URC, they've been okay with traveling, but I mean, a team like Northampton isn't just any other team. It's a really world class quality team, and I think Northampton's just going to win it, but I think this is going to be one of the best games this week. Absolutely. Two more games left for the weekend. Toulon versus Bath. Interesting one. I think Bath is going to win this one. Bath is an incredible rugby team this year. They have just peaked at the right time. They have the right amount of players, the right amount of experience, the right amount of flair, the right amount of talent right now to go into Toulon and beat this team. I know playing against Toulon in Toulon is like one of the hardest things you could do in rugby, no matter what level you're playing at. But I think this Bath team might be ready. So I'm going to say Bath by 3. It's either going to be a close game either way, but if I have to put my money, I think Bath could win this one, especially after that Munster game last week. Now the final game, Bristol versus Powell. I'm going to go for Bristol. No, you know what? I'm going to go with Powell winning against Bristol in England. I think Powell's a good team. They're going to be looking to bounce back after that performance against Northampton. Don't know how they are as a travelling team, but I think that they might just scrape a win here. But yeah, that's my predictions for this weekend. That's a little preview for the week. Week 2 looks absolutely exciting. My top 3 games of the week: Northampton versus the Bulls, Glasgow versus Toulouse, and Sharks versus Saracens. Well, actually, if I do a top 5, you also got Stormers La Rochelle, and then you also have Toulon versus Bath. So some incredible games this week. Excitement all around. It's good. I think this week's going to have a lot more close games than last week, depending on what squads the team select. But yeah, massive week of rugby ahead, and we will be doing a review of every game and a preview for every game by itself with the team selections, guys. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching.